What's up? Welcome to another installment of A Man Overcoming Shit. And I gotta say, I personally feel like this lighting that I got going on right here, it looks really good. I really fuck with the lighting. If you're watching, and you also like the lighting, why don't you drop a comment or something like that? Like this video if you fuck with the lighting, as opposed to the lighting that the other ones had. But yeah, I'm holding a microphone this time. I'm not sure how the audio is gonna be, but I don't know. I just kind of I had an idea of how do you know when you've made it? Like when you've healed your traumas, or when you've when you've overcome the mental health issues that you may have had. Like, how do you know? Is it an aha moment, or is it like a realization? Are you sitting one day and you respond differently to something, and then maybe you think back and you notice a pattern of different responses, responses that aren't what you would normally do, but that are more educated, for lack of a better term. Is it a feeling? Will you feel these things that you were holding on to, will you feel like they're gone? Will you feel like you no longer have to hold on to them? Or is it a decision, a decision that you're not going to let these things affect you, but still be very aware of them, very conscious of them. And then will you ever get to a point to where you don't react from a traumatized state? Really? If if you just really push to your limit, is it possible that you still may react from a state of being traumatized? Or will just the fact that you're healed, will you know how to deal with, the overstimulation? The things that could bring about this sort of, explosion of, traumatic reaction. I don't know. I wonder about that. I wonder if we ever really truly heal. One of my listeners is the homie before he's the listener, but he listens to the podcast and he really fuck with it. His name is Julian, not the homie that's on the episodes, but we have another homie named Julian too. But he said maybe generational curses aren't supposed to be broken in this generation. Maybe just the processes and the patterns are supposed to be set in motion in this generation for those things to be broken in later generations. And I don't know, that really made me think about whether or not we actually heal in this lifetime, or or do we just become so aware of it and change what we can up until we die, and we can't really hope to be in a state of truly fixed or healed, because it just kind of seems once you get to a state to where you don't have anything to work on, then it won't be fun anymore. You won't have anything to do. You'll have maxed out, I guess. You'll have reached your fullest potential, and a barrier, there won't be anywhere for you to go, because you'll have reached the ceiling, I guess, with fixing your mental health issues. Like, so is that even like, can you even fix them all? Are they even for you to fix, for us to fix, or are they just for us to accept and live with, instead of like denying and wish that we could live without? Because I find myself, I'll say, why am I this way? Or like, I wish I was normal and shit like that. And then I have to think about like what normal is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Normal is really relative to like who's looking at the word normal. Like, just in a very like juvenile context, like you might not you might not like mayonnaise on your ham and cheese sandwich, but someone might only eat, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that may be what they like on theirs. That's normal for them. So just in that little ridiculous context right there, like, you could like superimpose that shit on like anything. Like, if I'm looking at like just how people like shit that other people don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's normal for them, or, you know, whatever. So it's just ridiculous to even be like, oh, I want to be normal, when in actuality what that is like looking at somebody else's situation and being envious of it, which is ridiculous, because you only see what, like, you don't see like the whole thing. You don't see their struggles. You don't see like maybe these people's parents don't love them, or maybe, you know, they're lonely, or just whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe a combination of a few different things, but like we don't see that, and we like judge our life based off of like what we see of theirs, and we think that we're like inadequate, or that they have it better than us. It's ridiculous. I hope that like, even if we can't be completely fixed, I hope that we can be fixed enough to where we have healthy relationships with like our peers, our children, our parents, you know, like intimate relationships, just like whatever, business relationships, like social, you know. I hope that we can be fixed enough to have like those type of relationships that like benefit us, and like aren't toxic or detrimental to us or anyone else's mental health, you know what I'm saying? So maybe like, as to like shift the goal, maybe that's the goal, just to be as good as you can without the hope of being complete with, you know, like being complete in goodness, I guess you could say. Like, since I've started this podcast, I've like gained, not like I don't want to say following, because like they're not following, like that, like they're the homies that like just really fuck with like the idea, the vibe, the everything of the podcast, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we've kind of like I've kind of like gotten an audience, and like for that I'm thankful. I got my first supporter, like the first person that make like that's a supporter that does like that's did what a supporter does. He like signed up for the the podcast, and like that's cool, like, you know what I'm saying, membership type shit. And I think that that's cool, because like you don't have to, you can just like watch it for free. So I'm really appreciative of that. I'm not sure if I want to like mention his name on here, just because like I don't know if he would want it to be mentioned, but like I appreciate you, big homie. You know what I'm saying? You know I always fuck with you, you know what I'm saying? I know you always fuck with me and shit, so that's what's up. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, like just in the past 2 episodes, like the quality of the podcast I feel like has increased increased dramatically. Like, you know what I'm saying? You see I got this little lamp behind me and shit. I'm trying to find 1 second, please. My bad. My bad. I had to get my pen. Yeah, though, we just vibing, we just chilling. I'm sorry, I have terrible posture. Do you guys like the way I sound? Is the microphone doing, like, is it good? Like, does it capture my voice well? Do you like, you know what I'm saying? Is everything okay for you? I hope that it is. But like, yeah, let me just, I don't know, man. I've been in a position, like, I've been thinking about, so like a while back, several years ago, I had a clothing brand. And this clothing brand, it was tight. Like, it was, you know what I'm saying, like my brainchild. Like, I had gotten really sick, and then, like, I don't know, it's this weird, it's the weirdest thing. Like, I'll get really sick, and then, like, I'll have this, like, fucking consciousness shift or whatever, like, whatever you want to call it, and I'll do something that's, like, extremely creative, or just something that's, like, you know, whatever. And the clothing brand was like the child of, like, the brainchild of that consciousness shift. Like, I don't know, it was like this whole, like, self movement or whatever. But yeah, man, like, so I was, like, really doing, like, artwork and shit. Like, I was like, I can't even draw, but I was just, like, doing it just because, like, I was just, like, doing it. Like, I like to do it, so I was doing it. I was drawing. I was, like, designing t-shirt and custom painting shoes, and, like, doing, you know what I'm saying, commissions and shit like that. Like, and, like, I was making t-shirts and shit of artwork that I was, like, making and shit. I was, like, I would get an order, and then I would, like, make the screen for it's a whole process that's really fucking annoying, and I think that's where I fucked up. But, like, I would make the screens, and then I would, like, print the shirt, dry them. Like, I had business cards. I would, like, put a little business card in there with, like, some custom artwork or custom message on the on the business card, and, like, ship it out to the people, and, like, ship it, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I had, like, a big ass following, like, just that I had built, like, of people who fucked with the idea. Like, the idea was so infectious that, like, you know what I'm saying, it just, like, every person who I pitched the idea to, they just, like, wanted to work with the brand just because of the idea. Like, I had a whole team of, like, models and just, like, people who, like, fucked with it and, like, fucked with me and was just, like, there and down for the whole movement just because of the idea and, like, how it was presented, and just, like, being a part of something that, like, they felt like could be good, like, could be great. And, like, that's fucking cool that I created that. And I want to, like, you know what I'm saying, I've been thinking about, like, bringing that shit back, or, like, doing something different to the same effect with merch and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? But it's really, like, a matter of execution for me, because, like, I want to do it in such a way that I could bring, like, the highest quality materials and shit to the brand. Like, but, like, those things make the, like, I don't know, I'm gonna just have to work it out and go real hard with the marketing and shit, just so I can, like, bring this to fruition again. Because, like, that was, like, a cool time, and I think, like, I stopped, but, like, I overwhelmed myself, because I would like make the shirts myself. I would, like, have the artwork printed out on whatever the type of paper that you need to transfer it to the screen, and then you put the emotion on the fucking screen or whatever, and you, like, let it solidify, and then you, like, put your drawing on there, and you, like, you know, shine a light on it, and it exposes it, and then you have to rinse it out and all of that stuff. And so, like, I would do, like, that whole process for, like, every order and shit. And, like, I think that's what, like, killed it for me, really. Like, that's what started the process of killing it, because it was just, like, a lot of work and shit. and like this was before like the whole direct to garment like printing like popped really, like that whole drop shipping shit that like people do now, the e-commerce shit that people be doing with their brands now. Like this was before all of that shit like really popped. Like I was like making content, like I was creating content for my brand and was like building a following, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I had people in the United States, in like Canada, I had people in England. I think, like, I guess that's what it, you know what I'm saying? I don't remember what part or where exactly, but like they were over there. You know what I'm saying? It was just like a cool experience though, and like I got like a group of friends together like that, like models and shit, and we would just like go out and take pictures and like make video and just like create content. And like I like it was cool because like like these people knew each other, but like they had never like hung out or never like been around each other like that. But then like, you know what I'm saying, through the power of this brand, like, you know, like I was able to like introduce people who probably never would have hung out with each other otherwise. And like, you know what I'm saying, smoking and just like chilling and taking pictures and laughing and like taking video, like, you know what I'm saying, no weird shit, just like just being a part of like a creative process that like they really fucked with and really believed in. Like that was dope. Like and just like all of it, man. Like even just like when people like getting orders and shit, and I would like because like a lot of my, like I had people here who fucked with me, like, but a lot of my orders and shit came from, you know, other states and stuff like that. So like I would get orders, and then like the people would like send me pictures of them in the shirt, like the shirts and shit, like they're just like whatever they got. And I just thought that shit was like fucking dope, that like, you know what I'm saying, people was doing that and feeling like, you know what I'm saying, like they were a part of something, like just because like they bought a shirt and like, or they like shared a post and like, you know what I'm saying, got love on it or just whatever, like shit like that. Like that's cool that like I created that and like I gave that sense of belonging or like sense of like, you know what I'm saying, acceptance and shit like that to just like people, you know what I'm saying, like people who saw the shit and fucked with it. And it was just like, and I want to do that again because I want to do that again. I'm gonna do that again. I just have to figure out the best way to do it to make it what it needs to be to stick around. Because like I'm not like a fashion designer by any means or whatever, but like it's like I know what cool shit look like. You know what I'm saying? I get cool shit, wear cool shit sometimes. Like so, and it's just not even like really about it being cool. It's just about like, okay, so like you see the logo or whatever, and it's like, okay, boom. So like you know that this person is like aware of like what it stands for, because like the story matters, you know what I'm saying? It's like the story of the whole shit matters. And that was like a big thing with the previous brand that I had. Like the story of it was like fire, like it was like real fire. And I don't know, I was sewing and shit too. Like I was like custom making clothes and shit. Like I was like doing alterations on the homies' pants and like tailoring shit. Made my son a t-shirt, made motherfucking daughter's t-shirts and dresses and shit like that. Like not like dresses like how that sound, like ball dresses and no shit like that. Just like not no ball gown type shit. It was just like, you know what I'm saying, like tank top dresses and just like little cool shit with like patches and shit on it. But I sewed it myself, and like I did a fashion show. Like I met like some people, like, you know what I'm saying, just like in the area that was like really fucking with like what the fuck I had going on, like the idea. And just like I said, man, they just like fucked with it. But like it became overwhelming to me, I think, because like I don't know, like maybe obviously I self-sabotaged it, but like being able to pinpoint the way that I did self-sabotage it would be a way to prevent that shit from happening in the future. And like that would be important because I don't need that shit to happen again with anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we'll, you know, that's just other shit that a nigga gotta overcome. So it was cool though. Like, it was just cool, like wearing my own clothes and stuff. Like even now, like I don't even wear no kind of like branded clothes. Like I don't wear branded clothes. Ever since like I had my own brand, like I stopped wearing like shit like branded clothes. Like I don't just like strictly deviate from branded clothes. I'm not just like, no, that has a logo on it. I'm like, I got like, you know, sweatshirts and hoodies from brands and shit like that, obviously, that I wear. But like the majority of my clothing it's not branded. Like it doesn't have any sort of logo or anything like that on it. It's just like black tees, gray tees, white tees, shit like that. So I feel like, you know, maybe I should just like start sneaking in like the brand and just like wearing it on the podcast, and like you guys start seeing it and be like, hey, what? I noticed that you're wearing a branded shirt and you made that episode where you said you don't wear branded shirts. And like maybe that's like how we'll slyly introduce the brand to the world. We'll let you guys pick up on it and like ask about it. I don't know. These are just thoughts out loud, I guess. So like pretty soon I'm gonna like switch to my, like I'm gonna be recording on my iPad because it's just like more convenient with the microphone and everything like that. So you know what I'm saying, there's gonna be like a quality shift. I'm not sure, it's an iPad Pro. I'm not sure, like, you know, whatever, we're gonna make it work. What we're gonna do, whatever we gotta do to whatever, whenever. So, and as long as y'all fucking with me, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna keep on, which I'm gonna keep doing it anyway, but you know. But yeah, man, I really like didn't want to just be on here too long. Just wanted to say some shit, man. Shout out to everybody who fucking with the podcast. My first support, I'm gonna just say his name, man. My first supporter, Brandon, man. Shout out, bruh. Shout out to you, bruh. Big shout out. Shout out to Steph. Shout out to fucking every fucking body, bruh. Like everybody who hit me up to like fucking talk to me specifically about the podcast, not my personal life shit. Like people who hit me up to specifically talk about the podcast, man. Shout out to you guys. Like now I know like people who are in my personal life gonna be like, you didn't shout me out, you didn't say me, blah blah blah. You don't. It's not that. This is not that. Like these are people who directly support the podcast, like who hit me up and talk about it, man. Like shout out to y'all. Like, man, people who message me saying that like, oh, I'm watching the podcast now, bro. Like, man, I appreciate every single one of y'all, man. And like, thank you for real. Like, you don't even understand, bro. Thank you. Like, I'm doing this shit because it's like, it's cool. It's therapeutic. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I'm a creative and I'm going to create in different outlets at all the times. So like maybe this outlet is just the one I'm choosing now to create in. So, and I appreciate you guys for being here on this journey. So until next time, you know, see you guys later. Peace.